Borough fans, hello and welcome back to season 7, episode number 49, unbelievably, on the Stevenage Football Club podcast. Now, guys, I fully understand that Luca and Andy did a reaction episode to last night's 1-0 defeat at Plymouth, which now means we go from 5th to 8th place with just 9 games to play. The final 10 is underway. And we have just dropped to 9th place, still 1 point off the League One playoff spots. And guys, you know how happy I am. I love this team. I love our position. I love this season and these players and the manager. And yeah, it's been brilliant. But yeah, I do know that the guys did an episode yesterday, and I'm going to be doing a separate episode on last night, and then looking ahead to, wow, I mean, it almost feels like a cup final Saturday, doesn't it? 8th v 6th against Reading in a playoff contending game, and I'm so proud that this team is going to be involved in that. You know, I think that's, someone would have said that to us in Spain and at the start of the campaign, we would have been so happy. Guys, I hope all of you are doing really well. Again, a massive hello to people that are watching on YouTube. If you are, guys, make sure go and give us a follow, like, and a subscribe. It always helps seeing the subscribers go up and seeing people kind of connect with the platform. That's what we want. We want to grow our platform. The club's growing on the pitch, off the pitch, as we become a top half League One team, and we need a platform to go in that trajectory as well alongside it. And we really, really feel like this podcast is a great place to be able to do that for all of you. So make sure you do those things. If you are listening on all the audibles, such as Spotify, again, make sure to give us a follow and a like. That'd be much appreciated. Guys, it's just me tonight and my dodgy voice, as you can hear. So if you do hear me cough, massive apologies. I did lose my voice last week and it's only just come back. And then last night it was, well, yeah, you could say it went 2 steps back to 3 steps forward to then a step back on my voice because I was shouting last night at the linesman, just to have you know, but also cheering the team on last night. So my voice is a little bit sore and I have got a cough as well. There you go. Just to kind of put proof to the matter. Yeah, guys, look, I hope you're all well again. It was a crazy night last night. Now, normally this part of the pod, me and Luca have a bit of a waffle, but we'll do it on my own anyway. But yeah, it was a crazy night last night, wasn't it? We had a great day, actually. So, going into it, we planned to drive down to Plymouth on the day. And we did that. We met up at the club at 11 o'clock. Me and 3 others, and yeah, we drove down. I was a passenger for the day, which was quite nice actually, because normally I drive to all the matches pretty much. I will be for Bolton in a month when we've got them on a Tuesday night at the end of the season. But it was nice being a passenger princess. I'm going to call it passenger prince. There you go. Maybe not princess, passenger prince. For the day to Plymouth on last night. It was a great day. We left at 11. The journey was actually really good, like better than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be about 5.5 hours. It weren't. It took us 4.5 hours down there, and that was with about a 20-30 minute stop at McDonald's in the services. So yeah, it was actually really good journey down there, and it was a beautiful day. I mean, we got down to Plymouth, blue skies, it was sunny. We got to Home Park at 3:30, got parked, and then we walked to find a pub. Took us about 40 minutes to find one. We walked through Central Park there, which is what they call it, not the one in New York, the one in Plymouth. And yeah, we found this. It wasn't really a pub; it was more of a bar, and it was called Cuba Bar. And they did 2-for-1 cocktails. So we were like, oh my God. I think like the 2-for-1 cocktails were like £9.85 or £9.46. It was something like that. And yeah, we went to this bar. We chilled for a couple of hours. I got pissed. I mean, look, when you got 2-for-1 cocktails and your team's 5th at the time, I mean, I can't say no because I don't normally get an opportunity to drink with my running and training. So, yeah, that was really nice. We had 2-for-1 cocktails, we chilled, and then the boys wanted to start the bar a little bit longer, and my autistic self wanted to get to the stadium early to see the players off the coach. So, I got an Uber to the ground, got to the ground at about 5:45. Got a burger and chips, waiting for the players. Saw the players get off. Which was good. Bez got a big cheer, as he always does these days. You would feel like Bez is like some sort of celebrity in our team. And I wonder if Bez actually knows. He must do, surely. Because I love the Bez, and I actually think Bez gets an unfair rap, actually. I think Bez is a really good player. And I think people forget, right, that Bez is a League One playoff player. He played in it last year for Wickham. He's of that level. But I think everyone just, I don't know, they kind of almost choose a cult hero to have, to joke about. And calls people like that idiots. I don't. I think Anne prefers to past idiots than he from the team. I think Bez is a top player. And he seems like a really nice chap as well. So yeah, it was good seeing the players off and seeing them into the stadium. I think the one thing that we knew seeing the players off yesterday was no Phoenix Patterson, which I was kind of gutted about, actually, because I felt that game needed a Phoenix Patterson in that final third, needed that bit of quality. That player that's going to create a moment for you, create a moment for Jamie Reid and those players up top, Matty Phillips too. So I think that was one of the things that we took from seeing the players get off. Everyone was pretty much there, but no Phoenix. So I think from that point, in my mind, it was pretty cemented that it was going to be a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. Because with no Phoenix, I thought there's no Saxon, there's no Dan Butler, there's no Phoenix. We haven't really got anyone to play left wing back. You could shift Lewis Freestone there and put Sweens in, but really, you want a bit more of an outlet. I gathered from what Alex Ravel wanted, so we kind of knew it would be a 4. But yeah, it was a great day, guys, and it was brilliant to see. I think, what was it in the end, 160 odd away fans. And by the way, I just want to make a point. Excuse me. The Plymouth fans, by the way, I've read a lot online about them taking the mick out of our away support. I don't know what it is, right? And it's not just Plymouth. Like, we've experienced this with so many teams in this league this season. A lot of the fans take the mick of not having a great away following. It's like, well, hang on a sec. Let's go through it logistically, right? It's 5 hours away, right? Really, generally. I know it took us 4.5, but generally, Plymouth's about 5 hours away. It's a Tuesday night, so not many people are going to get the time off work unless you book it well in advance, like me, who booked it when the fixtures come out, right? That's number 2. Number 3, it costs a lot, right? Now, I'm not going to go into the detail of my financials, but I can tell you off the top of my head, I spent a bit of money yesterday. Petrol, ticket, food, cocktails. Although they were 2-for-1 again, they were only about 30 quid overall. But you can add up the math, can't you? Food at the ground, drink at the ground. It adds up. So seeing Plymouth fans kind of take the mick, but that's what the bigger clubs do, don't they? With the bigger fan bases, they feel entitled to prod because they would never take that amount to that X place. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I thought that was poor taste personally, but no, it was great to see 160 people, and yeah, it was just a great day out overall. I guess we'll get into it. And again, this isn't going to be a long pod tonight, guys, because I thought I'd hop on and do one. Given that I was there last night, and obviously we've got a huge game that I think we need to discuss on Saturday. The final 10. The final 10. And it feels weird saying that, doesn't it? The final 10. Final 10 games. I remember Spain and the opening day of the campaign and, the big opening day win at Blackpool. But incredible, mate. Incredible, guys. It's just, to say that, we're into it. But, yeah, unbelievable. The final 10. Plymouth Argyle away was the first match to kick off the final 10 matches of the 2025/26 season, most important season to become, as Andy would be tallying off one right now. a top half League One team. That's the goal. It was an interesting one, wasn't it, last night? And I think there's a lot to discuss about last night that I'm going to discuss. Really quickly before we do, as we always do, we'll go through the lineups, the statistics, and then I'll get into that 1-0 defeat last night. Again, the final 10 games, unbelievably, the final 10 matches are underway. A 1-0 defeat away at Plymouth, courtesy of a Ross headed goal in off the underside of the bar in the 57th minute. Condemned us to our 12th defeat in this massive season. As I just said, seeing the players get off the coach, I think when we saw no Phoenix, we assumed that it would go to a 4 at the back, which it did. And it did look like a 4-2-3-1 that also evolved and changed mid-game. The team was Philip Marshall in between the sticks, the back 4, Luther Wilding, Charlie Goo, Cole Pigiani and Lewis Freestone. The 2 in the middle, Louis Thompson and Harvey White, with Dan Kemp in that 10. The 2 out wide were Jordan Roberts and Matty Phillips, with Jamie Reid through the middle. Again, Matty Phillips and Reid, he did kind of go to some sort of I say partnership in the game, but it was generally a 4-2-3-1 or a 3-4-1 to however you want to put it. I think kind of some of us lose track on the systems we play at the minute. On the bench, Tay Ashby-Hammond, Lenny Brown made the bench again and actually made his first appearance last night, coming off in the 90. Jordan Houghton returning to his, I was going to say parent club there, not parent club. Going home to his previous club, I should say. The Bez, Jasper Patterson, Dan Phillips and Dan Sweeney, the Sween Dog, made up the bench. The match statistics for the 1-0 defeat, we had more possession last night. We had 57% possession, 11 shots with 1 on target. We had 21 touches in Plymouth's box. Philip Marshall made 3 saves. There were 42 aerial duels won. We had 7 corners in the match. Some distribution stats. We made more passes, 349, with a pass accuracy percentage of 58.7. We made 40 backward passes, 194 passes, 78 long balls, 38 successful final third passes, and we made 16 crosses in the game. Defensive stats, we had 19 tackles won. We had a higher percentage of 1 tackles, with 64%. There were 4 yellow cards overall in the game, and we made 33 clearances overall in the match. Well, yeah, where to start on it? I think number one, I liked the lineup. I thought that considering that there was no Phoenix, considering that there's no Chem at the minute, and obviously we've got other injuries as well, I thought it was potentially a good thing to line up the way that we did. You know, we could go to a 3-5-2 in the game. We could have done. But I don't think it would have had much impact of this result. And actually, I like the way that we were, expansive. We were brave. And we played that 4-2-3-1. We had Jordan Roberts in, who I think has been really, really good and positive over his last couple of games since coming off the bench and helping us over the line. And, the big win against Wimbledon, where I thought he was brilliant in, Burton, for example. But I liked it generally. We had Reedy up there. He had Dan Kemp in the 10 again, which we'd said, to get us back playing that top League One level, you need to play those Dan Kemps, those Phoenix Pattersons to get us playing at that level. Because those players played a lot in the opening 3 months. And you know what, guys? I thought it was a really positive first half. And I completely agree with Alex Ravel in his interview and his assessment about, for first half, we outplayed them. I really did think we outplayed them. I thought we played some brilliant football. I thought there were some really positive passages of play. I liked the football, actually. Balls on the floor. We were playing in patterns. We were moving the ball from one side to the pitch to the other and trying to create those kind of, opportunities to deliver that ball into the box. I like the way at times that we play through the lines and we were able to get players like Jamie Reid away and Matty Phillips away. And Dan Kemp also picked the ball up and did some really positive things with it in that kind of first half period. Thought it was generally really, really good. And I thought we managed that first half brilliantly. The big talking point of it is the Jamie Reid miss, wasn't it? And I think at this level in this division, and we've said it so many times this season, when you miss chances like that, you do get punished 9 times out of 10, and you get punished by all the teams in the league. League 2, you get away with it a little bit. League One, you rarely get away with it. Cast your minds back to you won't want to, but the loss at Northampton, for example, right? Reedy had a really good chance in that first half, missed it, you get punished. And it's just the way that it is. And I'm gutted for Jamie Reid because, again, I'm a huge advocate for Reedy. I think he gets so much unfair stick. And I said it on a previous pod with the boys. And I know that watching and listening to Luca and Andy last night, they said the same thing. It's a disgrace, the stick that Jamie Reid gets. He's a top man. He's an unbelievable goal scorer. And he's a club legend. Jamie Reid is a club legend. I would actually argue and say I think Jamie Reid's if not the best striker we've ever had at the level that we are, who consistently score goals. And look, it was one of the main talking points of why we didn't get a result yesterday. Reedy goes clean through. You expect Reedy to score that, and he put it wide. And I feel for Reedy so much, man, because he really does work so hard. And that's the thing with Jamie Reid. He'll score really good goals, and he'll also miss a handful as well. And I think this season you've seen that in a few occasions. I remember the Luton miss where he went clean through and put it wide. Do you remember? And Northampton, and then this one. But more than not, Reedy scores them. And he'll be disappointed with that, really. He goes clean through, and it's a big moment because you go 1-0 up in a game like that. You're ahead. You can manage it like we did against Wimbledon. You get behind the ball. You work hard. You can change the system to a 3-5-2 potentially in the second half. And obviously, when Reedy missed that, I did think in the back of my mind, are we going to get punished for that moment? And we did, didn't we? And I thought second half, I think, is where we weren't that great. And to be fair to Plymouth, I thought Plymouth improved in the second half. I thought Plymouth come out and played a lot better than what they did in the opening first half. I thought we were the reason why they didn't. I thought we bossed that first half period. But second half, I felt like they improved and we didn't. And there was something that really stuck out for me last night. We had a big discussion about it on the way home. And that was goal contributions around Jamie Reid. And I had a look last night, and we just didn't, create anything. Like the best moment was when Kempy slid Reedy clean through. And there was a moment in the second half as well where Reedy got through and their defender made a really good block as he was going to score. But we just didn't create enough. There just wasn't enough in that final third. Right. And again, I think we missed Phoenix for that. I think Phoenix would have been a great player to have in that game. Last 20 minutes, final third, balls in the box, running at people, cutting inside and shooting. I think we really missed that quality. It's that end product. But it's the goal contributions around Jamie Reid, isn't it? It just hasn't been enough this season. It's been, honestly, a wonderful, 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 wonderful season, right? We've become a top half League One team. There you go. Another tick for Anne. We've done 2, Anne, if you're listening or watching. And but we just haven't scored enough goals. We've scored 40 goals in 37 games. It's nearly a goal per game. It just isn't enough for a team, of our level. And for me, everyone goes on about goal scorers. You need a goal scorer. We have one. Jamie Reid scored 13 goals this season. Jamie Reid will probably end up on anywhere from 15 to 20 goals at the end of the season. He's a goal scorer. But it's the goals around that. It's the goal contributions. Who are the other players that are also contributing to goals and creating and assisting? We haven't had that, have we? Dan Kemp, right? Felt for Dan Kemp this season. I think we've played the wrong style with Kempy involved a lot this season. But Kempy, last night, bless him. I don't think it was Kempy's most brilliant game. We need players to contribute. Matty Phillips, right? I think Matty's been brilliant, by the way. I think he's coming, and we spoke Matty on the last pod, didn't we? His performances have been consistent. He holds up the ball well. He allows Jamie Reid to do all the Jamie Reid things that we know and that we love, right? And that we've seen so many times this season. But he's only got one goal, Matty Phillips, hasn't he? It's goal contributions around Jamie Reid. And that's literally been the only thing this season that I think you look at and you go, yeah, that's been something that we haven't been good at this season. I think everything else we've been brilliant at as a team, but it's been goal contributions around Jamie Reid. And last night, showed. I don't think in that second half period we really did enough to get a result from the game. And called it a lack of urgency on the thing. I don't think it was a lack of urgency. I just think we were managing the game and we were trying to keep it 0-0. When they scored, I don't think it was a lack of urgency from the players. I think Alex Ravel probably should have made the substitutions a lot earlier than he did. I mean, let me have a look, right? When did we make our first subs? Because this will really put it in a context. Yeah, 77th and 78th minute, we made our first subs. I mean, just way too late in the game, right? I mean, Plymouth scored. Let me have a look at the minute. Wasn't it the 57th? 57th. And the thing about it was when Plymouth scored, they hadn't taken over the game, but they'd improved and they were somewhat in control of it. And I think Rev said it beautifully in his interview. They had a spell in the second half, didn't they? Where they were on top of the game. And I felt those subs probably should have been made at about 60 to 65 minutes in the game. You know, you get 30 to 25 minutes with those changes. 78, it just felt a bit late to me. And I think we were all standing around at the 70th minute mark. I was looking at my Garmin and my watch going, when are we going to make a sub here? Because Plymouth have got in control of the game and are having a decent spell, and we aren't. You've got to make a change in the game. And it was really interesting last night, wasn't it? Because another thing that I said in the car on the way home when we were having a big chat was you had a look at the bench, right? The Bez is coming on, who I like, and I think Bez gets a lot of unfair criticism. Bit of pace, okay. Lenny Brown, by the way, which is it's great. It's great to see Lenny on. But I think that really does scream that you're missing that personnel, aren't you? When you bring in Lenny Brown on in a game like that, right? Where you need a goal and you bring in Lenny on. And that's no discredit to Lenny, by the way. I think Lenny's a fantastic young player and I think Lenny's going to be a big player. But I think that tells you our situation in terms of players in that final third that we have available, doesn't it? When you're bringing Lenny Brown on in the game to try and nick you a goal. Dan Phillips coming on as well. Again, these substitutions for me were just way too late last night. You're bringing Dan Phillips on with 12 minutes to go. Jordan Houghton's coming on in a game where typically you wouldn't normally bring Jordan Houghton in on. I mean, normally you bring Jordan Houghton in for games that you're winning or you're drawing and you're trying to get through the game and managing it. A bit like what we did Saturday when we beat Wimbledon to go fifth. You know, you don't normally bring Jordan Houghton on when you're losing a game and you're trying to chase a goal down. But we didn't. Look, it was great to see Outs. He got a really good standing ovation, didn't he? Of course he would. Ex-promotion captain player, isn't he? But I just felt that the subs were too late. I don't think we had enough time with those subs to create anything. And maybe if we'd have brought them on a lot earlier, say the 60th minute, just after the goal, that would have been a really good time to bring them on, because I think Luca made a really good point on the live that the boys did. Reactions to goals conceded are a bit slow for us. We concede a goal and we don't make the changes straight away and try and get back into the game. That's what the top teams do. Although we are, we leave it a bit late and then make the subs. And I actually think 60th minute after we've gone 1-0 down, good time to make subs, good time to change the game, get back control of the game. And then you give yourself 30 minutes, a long time, 25 minutes to find a moment, create a chance, get back in the game. You give those players a bit long. I think 12 minutes. I know there was like 7 minutes at it, but 12 minutes for me it's not long enough. And I was gutted to lose. And do you know what? At half time, I honestly didn't think we would. I thought we were really comfortable at half time, thought we managed the game brilliantly, and they'd come out and concede a goal like that. Just a sloppy goal, wasn't it? Clever from Plymouth. Did something which is called blocking, and that's where you create a circle around the goalkeeper. You stop the goalkeeper from coming out, and you get a free man to run across the circle. I remember learning about it when I was playing semi-professional football, blocking, and you get a free man to run like that, and you just put the ball into a specific area and it's a goal. And that's what happened off the bar. I was disappointed with it. I was gutted that we lost that. And I think as well, I mean, look, it was a poxy game to have on a Tuesday night, wasn't it? And Plymouth are obviously a decent side. They're not the best side that we've played, but a decent side. And they're obviously in the playoff run as well now. But yeah, I was just gutted for us because, away from home, I felt again at halftime, we were never going to lose that game. And we did. And I think that was the gutting, disappointing thing about it. I listened to Rev's interview and I agree with a lot of it. Rev spoke about the spell that they had in the second half. I think for me, again, I'm going to make a point here about our team. I love this team. They're my favourite team. I would do anything for these players in this team. The season that we've had, what we've achieved. We've become a top half League One team. Third one, and there you go. If you're watching top half League One team, there you go. Tick 4 on the board. But I think for me, when we get to the back end of this season and we finish the season and we finish it wherever we finish it, whether we get into the League One playoffs or we don't, I'm going to make a point about this later. I actually think it's not a bad thing if we don't make it. I think in terms of next season and the potential for next season is huge, right? Of what we want to achieve next season, staying in that, top half of League One. And I think that there needs to be a shift next season in the style of football that we play. There was a few people bored last night at the football. And I was thinking myself at one point in the second half, it's a bit too samey at the minute, isn't it? It's not, we don't play, well, in the second half last night, we didn't play like the most exciting brand of football. And I know that's happened on a few occasions, maybe far too many occasions since January, but we really didn't last night. And I was thinking, do you know what? I think next season there needs to be a shift, I think, in how we play. I think to be really good in League One, you have to be able to play really fast, attractive football. And when I look at all the teams that are up the top, they all do that. They all play fast, attractive football through the lines, pace, wingers, ball players in the middle. And we have those things. It's what Rev's created in the summer. But I don't think we're seeing enough of it. I was looking at Plymouth last night and I thought, Plymouth have it. Plymouth have that. I was watching, they had players like Pebble, didn't they? And is it Ronan Curtis out on the right long air? They have those players that make them play fast, attractive football. And I want to see us do that because we have the players for that. But I think we've adopted not the wrong style, but I call it industrial. It gets the job done. It's not the prettiest thing to watch, and it can be effective in a lot of the matches that you play. But when you play a lot of the other good sides in the division, you will get found out playing that way. And we did last night. I felt it was too industrial in that second half. And I think I'm at a point now where I want to see good football. We've got the players. They're all top League One level players, right? Let's play a bit. Because I thought the first half was really positive for me. And I think there needs to be, next season, I think there needs to be a shift from playing this industrial style of football to playing a better brand of football. I mean, I remember at the start of the season, the brand of football was great, right? That 4-2-3-1 system, we had width, we had quality, we played through the lines. We had that direct approach as well. But, we moved the ball from one side of the pitch to the other, and we played through. And I feel like we lost that because teams set up in a certain way to stifle us in a low block, and it worked. But I feel like we've lost that because we've changed to try and kind of counteract teams playing like that against us. I think it just hit me last night, second half. I was thinking, it's not the most attractive style, this. It can be effective, but I think people are getting to the point now where they get a little bit bored, don't they, the way that we play. Not many chances have been created, no goals again, and playing this certain style. I think people get bored a little bit. And I think that was just one of the disappointing things with that loss last night was just the style of football. It was just a bit bland, I felt, in the second half. But look, I was really proud of the players, and I completely agree with Alex Ravel. I thought they worked so hard. They tried so hard. And, it's easy for fans to sit there and criticise the players for effort and a lack of urgency. I hear a lot. It's none of those things, man. Like, the players try and work so hard. Like, honestly, and I get this with my running and my professional running, right? It is so hard when you're competing at that level. It is like you have no idea how hard it is, right? And yeah, I know the players are well paid for it and they're looked after for it, of course, but it is so hard. And you're doing it in front of 16,000 odd people. It's very high pressured. It's, again, it's what the players signed up for, but it's hard. It's not a lack of effort. It's not a lack of urgency. I watched a group of players last night do everything to try and get a result in that game. They worked so hard. They ran right to the end, and they just came up short due to just a couple of things. So, I read a lot on Twitter last night about people saying, "Oh, the efforts of the players aren't." It's nothing to do with that. These players try so hard. Man, yeah, you've got club legends playing in this team. You've got players like Cole Pigiani that live and die by the badge. You've got players like Jamie Reid who would do anything for the team. You got newer players in this squad like Jordan Houghton who are, of a top, League One level, who are proud in themselves as a professional. They would never not try and not give effort. They all do, right? And it was never a case last night of not trying hard enough or lack of urgency. It was a few little things that ended up winning the game for Plymouth in the end. But look, I said on the pod last week that you split the final 10. You go 5 and 5. This 5 here is Rotherham, Blackpool, Barnsley, Doncaster, Wigan. And this 5 here is Plymouth, Reading, Bradford, Bolton and Lincoln. And from this 5 here, right, you make sure you get results in those games. You get results in those games, you'll have a great opportunity of the League One playoffs, getting in. These 5 here are games that you could lose. If you get a result from one of them, or 2 of them, or 3 of them, 4 of them, or all of them, brilliant. But they're bonus games, right? Plymouth was one of those bonus games. It was always going to be a tough game. It was away on a Tuesday. Plymouth score goals for fun. They've scored 57 now. They're on a massive run at the minute. That was their 17th win. They've got momentum, which is, as we know, everything in this division, everything in football. It was a tough place to go to last night, right? Focus on these 5 that we have, right? Those 5 are the games. You win those games, you get results in those games, this team will make the playoffs. So for me last night, as gutting as it was to lose, I wasn't that annoyed at it. It was a game that the players really tried in and we came up short, and that's fine, right? So we're into the final 9 now. The final 9! Unbelievable. Now, I'm going to go for the league table before we look forward. And again, guys, this isn't going to be a big podcast tonight. I'm literally going to discuss the league, Reading this Saturday, which is a huge game. And then we're going to go through a few questions and then end, because obviously we've had, 2 kind of reaction pods. And again, guys, tweet us and let me know what you think on this episode. I do try my best when I do these podcasts on my own. I haven't actually had to do one for a long time because Anne and Luca have been free every week for the past couple of months. I think the last one I did on my own was, I remember it being before Christmas, I think. Might be burnt at home, I can't remember. But it's been a while. League table. Again, I'm literally so happy. So damn happy. Look at us. It's unreal, isn't it? The final 9 matches, we're 8th place. The final 10 is, underway. The final 10 is, beneath us now. But the bottom 4, in the league is Port Vale, Northampton, Rotherham, and Blackpool. Blackpool got a big win last night, taking 1 point away from getting out. From 20th to 12th, it is Wigan, Exeter, Burton, Doncaster, Leyton Orient, Mansfield, Wimbledon, Peterborough, and Barnsley. From 11th to 7th, Luton, Plymouth, Wickham. Oh, Stevenage football team nestled in there at 8th place. 1 point off. We're still in it, guys. You know, the final 9, the final 10 is underway. We're still in it. 7th place is Huddersfield, and top 6 is Reading, Stockport, Bradford, Bolton, Cardiff, and Lincoln City are still top of the division. Yeah, look, we lost last night and we've gone 8th, but we're still in it. Right? We beat Reading Saturday. We can go back 5th. We're in it. The unbelievable thing is, you know, the final 10, again, the final 10, mad, but the final 10 is underway. We've now got 9 games left and we're in the League One playoff race. I'm not a little kid. I'm so excited. The teams that really are in it are us, Stockport, Reading, Huddersfield, Wickham, Plymouth, and Luton. So what's that, 7 of us? I think I don't really count Barnsley a part of it. I think they're a little bit too far. Us 7, only 2 spots available at the minute, really. Can it be us? I mean, why not? Don't forget as well, we've still got a game in hand, guys, and that's Barnsley at home. Really winnable game for us with a game in hand. People forget that. Got a game in hand as well. But yeah, look, I mean, you can't really predict it, can you? Look, we know that our squad is of that level, right? It's of that level. It's whether we can win for what? I think we need, what are we on, 57? We need 5 wins from 9. Can this team win 5 wins from 9? Yeah, I think they can. I think they can. I think those 5 games that we said earlier, 5 and 5, those 5 there are all really winnable. I mean, Rotherham, Blackpool, Barnsley, Wigan, Doncaster, I'd back us to beat those teams. Again, you've got to win all 5. And if you win one of these bonus ones, then great. Look, it's going to go to Wigan. It's going to go to the last game of the season. There's too many teams in this pool of playoff contending teams where we are to not. And again, I'm so happy that we're there and that we're in it. It's brilliant. Like the fact that we're involved in it with 9 to play. And by the way, what games? They're like cup finals, guys, right? Reading Saturday, Bradford, Bolton, Lincoln. I mean, we get to see this team playing all these like cup final games at the end of the season. It's so exciting. And you know what, guys? And I said to Andy earlier on a voice note on WhatsApp, one thing I want to say before we look ahead to Reading, whatever happens, right, just enjoy it. Look, you know what? I'm going to say this. Fuck the playoffs, right? Fuck them. It'd be brilliant if we made it. But you know what? It wouldn't be the fucking be-all end-all if we didn't, right? I'm going to make a point now really quickly before we look ahead, right? I think this season, and we've said it all season long, was the season that we become a top half League One team. But next season is the season. Can we evolve, create a new team in the summer if we need to, but evolve, get better, kind of adapt, and stay a top half League One team next season? Because that's the season. If we're going to be a top half League One team, that's the season next season, your second season at doing it. I look at the league of what it's going to be. Sheffield Wednesday are coming down. Bromley are coming up. It looks like a brilliant league. You've got Cambridge coming up, and looks like a really competitive league that we can do really well in. So if we don't make the playoffs, it's fine. I actually think, in that terms, it would be good not to make it for the fact that you get more time to prepare. Look at Leyton Orient this season. They nearly went up last year. They were in the final at Wembley. Look at them this season. They're in a relegation fight. I know they've won their last 3, but they're down there. That's what can happen to teams. It can delay your process and preparation for the following season. And if we don't make it, so blooming what? The goal is to be in the top half of League One, and we're going to achieve that. I mean, what are we 7 points clear? We've got 2 win and draw gap for the game in hand. Still Barnsley to play. So just enjoy it, guys, right? Just enjoy seeing this team playing these humongous games of football, big crowds, big days, and just have fun, right, and enjoy it. That's the way I'm doing it. And hopefully a lot of other people do it as well. And back the team, back the players, be positive. Yeah, you can have your criticisms, of course, but be positive and back them. And I think that's what's important. Let's look ahead. Ooh, what a game. I can't wait. Like, honestly, I am so damn excited. It's going to be class Saturday. So, our 38th League One match of the 2025-26 season. The final 10 is underway, right? The final 10 is underway, and we are now in the final 9 matches. Reading, we're 8th. Reading are 6th. What a game of football. I talk about those cup final type of matches. What a game this is exactly that, at home against Reading. 8th v 6th, a playoff contending game. And then again, I'm so proud to say that we're involved in that type of game. It's incredible. Wow, what do I think for this game? Look, I think that it's at home, number one. We know at home we're so effective at what we do within that system, within that style, with the players and the personnel we've got. We will beat the majority of teams that we play at home, and we have done with 10 wins, right, from 18. What is it? 10 wins, 6 draws, just 2 defeats. 2 defeats are narrow. We lost one against Cardiff, which we should have never have lost that night, which deserved a point, didn't we? But what a game. I think for me, in this game, I would like to see the 3-5-2, I think. And we said, whenever we play those bottom teams, I think you can change the system and you can revert and go 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, or you can play 3-5-2. But evidently, when you play 3-5-2 against those teams down the bottom, a bit like what we saw against Orient last week, you allow them to come at you a bit, and you don't really want that. But when you play the other big boys, the big teams, 3-5-2 is great because you make it really difficult to be broken down. You can press high and you can play in numbers when you get the ball. And that system and that style is perfect for this game, I think. I think you probably go Lewis Freestone at left back, I think, for this game. I think you would like to see, I think this could be a game for Dan Sweeney. Actually, I'd like to see Luther, Sweens, Good, Pigeon, Freestone as my backline. I think I look at Reading; they've got a batch man, haven't they, up top? They've got some good players. I think Dan Sweeney would be a really, really good player to play in this type of game. As we know, Sweens has stepped up every time this season. This is where it gets interesting, really, doesn't it? Or equally, by the way, you could play 3-5-2 and put Phoenix back there if he's not injured for this game. But I'm really torn about the midfield and up top. Well, obviously up top will have to be Jamie Reid and Matty Phillips, but the midfield, because Dan Kemp just didn't do it for me last night. But I think Kempy needs to play in these games. Dan Phillips is back now. You look to get Dan Phillips in. I think probably Harv gets kept for the quality. But I think evidently I'd like to see that 3-5-2 in this game. Look, Reading are a terrific side. I remember them in the away match. That was the first game we kind of went, we've been sussed out this season. 15 wins, just 10 defeats. Again, similar to Plymouth, 57 goals scored. So we're a very high-scoring team. So that's why I think the 3-5-2 in this game needs to be deployed. Deploy it, get through the game, manage it, do as we do. We know at home in the second half of games we can take over. I'd look to deploy that system in this game. And look, we bite your arm off for a point. Remember the 2-5 games? At Reading falls in that bonus section. You nick a result, takes the pressure off the other 5. So big game. I'm really, really excited for it. I do believe I'm going on the Reading podcast tomorrow. That'll be out Friday. And hopefully we can get Matt on our podcast so we can learn a little bit more about Reading. But really excited for it. And, I think as well, in terms of making the League One playoffs, this would be the game to win, wouldn't it? You win this game. You've won not just a playoff contending the game, you've beaten another top team. You're at 60 points with 8 to play. The confidence that gives the players. You look forward. We've got an international break coming up. We've got Rotherham and Blackpool back to back. We've got winnable games coming up next. You win this game. My God, because we can go 5th place. And do you know what? I'm just looking about who the other teams have got as well. Really interesting, actually. So should we take a look? So the other games, right? So obviously we play Reading, cup final game. Plymouth have got Huddersfield, right? So that's two of them playing each other. Wickham have got Orient away, but we know Orient are on a bit of run of form at the minute, right? Stockport have got Luton. So that's two of the teams playing each other again, right? So when we look at it, well, there's a few of us all playing each other. And then Wickham have got a really tough game, right? So win this game, you will probably see us, where is it, back in the top 6 with 8 to play. And really, it's a big opportunity for our team. Obviously, we bite your arm off for a point, but, and to be fair, we haven't actually seen many draws, have we, of late? We've either won or lost at the minute. But really big opportunity for this team. And you know what I want to see before we end? Good football. We're 8th, play like it. You know, we had a discussion in the car on the way home last night. I don't think anyone really knows what our style of play is at the minute and our route to goal, our destination, as a lot of us say. And I want to see that Saturday. I want to see a brand of football that you can kind of go, I can see how we're trying to play here. Let's get the ball down. I think against Reading, you're going to have to get the ball down. You're going to have to play with quality. So that's really what I want to see Saturday. You know, get back playing to that top League One level as we've done so many times this season. I remember Stockport away. You know, that's the level. Can we get back playing that way and getting some of those creative players in there like Phoenix and Kempe to allow us to play like that? But big game, cup final game, and I can't wait, guys. It should be a big crowd as well. And look, the final 9 matches is underway. So, well, the final 10 is underway. I say that around a lot. I go, the final 10, and he's like, why are you saying the final 10? And I'm like, well, and, you know, the final 10 matches are underway, but it's 9 now. So he'd be like Farley if he was on at the minute. So would Luca. Right, guys, I did receive a couple of questions from you guys, and we'll end with a few of these. Again, I know it's a little bit of a shorter pod. I think we've still been going like 50 minutes as well, actually, which is quite good. But we will go through a couple of questions that you guys have sent in. One question came from Stevenage interviews, and the question was, with us taking on Reading Saturday, Plymouth hosting Huddersfield, Luton hosting Stockport this weekend, how crucial do you see this weekend being for the playoff push? Well, in terms of our playoff push, huge. I mean, as you've just said there, all of us are playing each other pretty much, and you win a game like this to get up to 60 points and to get you in there with 8 to play with a game in hand, with a team that you'd lean towards making. I think it's a huge game for our team and our players. And for the playoff push, I mean, it's absolutely everything, if that's what you want to call it. I think it's huge for that. Next question. This came from John. Don't win Saturday and top 6 finishes out the window. Thoughts? I mean, it's not in terms of, you know, statistically and from a points basis. I think if we were to lose to Reading, you wouldn't have us as one of the teams to get in there. And I do agree with you, John, on that point. I think that if we lost this game, I mean, what would we be? We'd be, 4 points off Reading then? Yeah, it would be difficult for us with 8 games to get back in. What I will say is we have got some favourable fixtures coming up in Rotherham, Blackpool, Barnsley, Wigan and Doncaster. I still look at those 5 games and think they're good games to have in a playoff run, right? Playoff contending run. So, all right, you lose the game. I don't think we'd be out of it, but losing it, I mean, for the 13th time again, I don't really think you're going to have too many sides that lose more than 13 games that get in the playoffs, in my opinion. But look, you never know. You never know. I think what we need to focus on, guys, is performances, right? I think we've lost our way with performances. I think we're so honed in on the results. Of course, you would be a team in 8th in our position being 1 point off. But it's all about performances. And I think what we've lost our way with is performances. It's all about the results. And actually, the performances in some of the games haven't been that great. And what happens is, I mean, you're not going to get a result. You're playing poorly. You have to play well in your games. If you're playing well in your games and you're not winning, those results will eventually turn around if you could keep playing really well. So I think it's really important for our team to play really well. Other point is, you're going to, especially a team of our level, knowing that we belong in the top half of League One, you're rarely going to see us play really well and lose. It's only happened on a couple of occasions. I think Huddersfield away, Cardiff away. You're only going to do that against the real top teams. So we know that when we play that top League One level, we're rarely going to lose. Get back playing well. And you do that by playing the right personnel, playing the right system, playing to the level that you are, not trying to play this direct play. So I think that's important for me. But look, lose this game. I think a lot of people wouldn't look at us at getting in there. Last one we had from Paul Sorrell. Paul said, "Time for total football, do or die from now on." It's more of a statement than rather than the question, but yeah, I mean, look, why not? I think Andy said on the pod last week, this is our opportunity to get in, and I agree. Right, I do think next season will be an open competitive league, given the teams coming up and coming down. But we're in it, and what an opportunity to make it and become not just become a, top half League One team, to become a playoff League One team. I mean, wow, the foundations would be massively set for next season, wouldn't they? But yeah, I think that what an opportunity to go and do it and go and have a crack at it and go and do it. So, guys, thank you for sending in your questions. That was really good to go through some of them. Prediction competition. I'll quickly go through it before we end. I went for a 1-0 win at Plymouth. Obviously, that didn't happen. And went for 0-0. Luca went for 1-1 with a Dan Sweeney goal. Now, and got 2 points for getting half right. I got 1 point because I got it wrong. Luca got 2, but remember the rules. When you pick a goal scorer, you lose all your points that you've won. So Luca has come away with 0 points. So the leaderboard now is me on 30 points, Luca on 30 points, and on 31 points. So with 8 games to play, and is in the lead by 1 point. Guys, if you want to join in with our competition, send in your predictions for Reading, and that's it, because obviously Bolton got postponed, didn't it? Bar fans, thank you so much for tuning in tonight, guys. Thank you so much for banging on and listening to my voice for 50 minutes. Hopefully I've done well for all of you. But I could speak about this team for hours. It's my favourite team. Guys, we will be back on Sunday reacting to hopefully an amazing result against Reading with just the final 8 games to play, as we will be looking ahead, international break, but looking ahead to the Easter matches, which we will have. Guys, make sure that you go and give our instant reaction videos a watch. We didn't have one at Plymouth because it was just too late last night getting in. So we will have one again on Saturday after Reading. And please go and follow us on all the socials, the Stevenage Football Club podcast on your original platforms, and on X. It is at TSFC Podcast. We're very active on X. So please go and give us a watch and a follow on all of those platforms and services. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back on Sunday reacting to hopefully a big result. Have a lovely week, and we will see you at the massive match on Saturday. Get yourself a ticket and go and support the boys on Saturday. What a game in our playoff hunt. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you on Sunday at this time. As always, guys, you have been listening to the #1 podcast at our football club, the Stevenage Football Club podcast.